Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Tuesday because we had the long weekend, the holiday to Memorial Day weekend. Say thank you to all my brothers and sisters that were in the service. I am a military veteran myself, and I memorialized 33 of my brothers and sisters that I lost in my 3 combat tours that I took to Iraq, plus all the other ones, the countless names and people and faces that we lost overseas in different conflicts and wars, and that's what I spent the weekend doing, was memorializing my brothers. And with that, now we get back to business. We have a whole bunch of orders to pull. Give me just a minute, get cleaned up, I'll get right back with you. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Max. I am the fast-talking flipper. Angie is my better half. She is inside. She's taking care of Judy right now. It is the middle of the day on Tuesday, May the 28th. May the 28th. So we had a long weekend. Another long weekend, a holiday weekend, and this is our pool video for the stuff that has sold over the weekend from Friday into Monday and now Tuesday. And yeah, had a pretty decent weekend. Not a huge volume, which that's okay with me, but we had a pretty good number, and that we hit 18 items for $1,340. Plus I had one item sell on Facebook, or excuse me, yeah, on Facebook. Right there. These two taillights, they're going up to northern Michigan. They sold for $120 shipped. So add that to that. We got 14, 20, 40. 14, 20, 40 is our total for 19 items. What is that? That's like 60, 70 bucks a piece. 60, 70 dollars. I don't know what the math is off the top of my head without sitting and doing it, but that's pretty good. For 19, 70, 56, and carry the 3. Yeah. $70 or more per order. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I'll take it. I will definitely take it. If we could do that every day, all day, yeah, that's 4 days. So that's good. So let's get started on the pulling. I had a long weekend. Are you guys seeing any trends? I am seeing a trend of higher dollar items still selling very well. We are finding lots of video games. Finding a lot of video games. Not a great stuff, you know, not like freaking, what's his nuts, Chase up there. He gets insane stuff. But he's got a whole different model. You know, he pays 60%. 60% of what he is going after. Both of these sold. I got these for free. That's what's crazy. We got these down in Florida, VHS tapes. We stopped at a gated community sale, and the lady was like, "Oh, those are free if you want them." And I was like, I don't know. I'm just digging through stuff. This is Walt Disney's Spirited Away. It looked different. I didn't know anything about it. Grabbed it. It was $19.99 plus shipping. This one's going to be later in the video, but I know it's sold. But we're still seeing, you know, well, Chase, get it back to Chase. Chase, he pays, you know, 50 to 60% of retail of what stuff is going to sell for. His thing is the volume. He's going to do tons and tons and tons of volume. You know, he'll sell $500,000 to $1 million worth of sales in a year, and he'll only make 20%, 10%, something like that. I'm looking for a Billabong hat. It is supposed to be in B3, and it is very obvious. There it is. Billabong. I don't do a lot of hats, so Brandon, if you're watching, you should be proud. I've been buying the heck out of hats lately at Brandon's request. He may end up with them. That's might be what happens. Brandon is my buddy 540 Flips. If you don't watch him, you should watch his channel. He's pretty good. I talk to him a lot. He is a good buddy of mine, and I'm actually going to go down and see him at the 127 sale in August, late July, August, something like that. Yeah, we're going to go, we're staying at the same Airbnb area. So this sold for $15 plus shipping. Easy to ship. I like those where it's not form-fitted and stuff. I don't care about, you know, messing that up. I can squish that up and get it in a 666. So that's easier to ship. I sold a toy. Uh-oh, it has no location. I don't know where it would be. It is a vintage Star Wars indoor Han Solo camo trench coat from 1984. It's a good one. This is why a lot of people, my legs hurt. This is why a lot of people go after Star Wars toys. So it's not going to be in there. This is what I have to do when I don't know where something is, so they don't catch a beating. There he is. Toy box 4. That's where he was. There he is. That is Han Solo, 1984. This is why a lot of people go after Star Wars figures, because, you know, 30, 40 bucks and they're banging out easy money. No COO though. That's an important thing. COO is country of origin. Country of origin. If you look at their legs on the back of Star Wars figures, it usually says like made in Hong Kong, made in Taiwan, and if it's missing that, that means no COO. That could be a variant. There are a lot of Star Wars figures that have variants. I have sold variants of some Star Wars figures over $10,000. It is not an easy thing to get into and just know everything. There are figures out there that are worth 6 figures, and they're loose. If you're in the Cincinnati area, you have a chance of coming across those. So it is prudent that you know what these things are, because there are figures, even if you're nowhere near Cincinnati, there are figures that will sell for over $1,000 that you could have in your backyard and very easily find. I have found them at yard sales, regular old yard sales, for $1, picked them up and then sold them for $1,000. So that does happen. It is possible. But that guy sold for $39.96. I don't know if I said that. I might have said that, and I'm double repeating myself. That's like saying the same thing twice again. B2 is where I'm going. A dumpster fire enamel ornament. We got this early on. When we first started, you know, truly trying to resell. And it is sat around. Oh gosh. She doesn't sound so good in there. Apparently there is a Frozen doll. Is it this? Is it this? It is that. Oh gosh, she sounds terrible. There's a Frozen doll in there and I triggered it. There's what we got. 2020 dumpster fire. The ornament. COVID-19 edition. Not much money. $14.95. I think I took an offer on it, and that was the first time we've had any kind of traction, and we got it out of here. I'm going to Media 4 for Star Wars Rogue Leader. GameCube. Let's see. Rogue Leader right there. So, a video game thing. We got some video games at our rummage sale recently, back in April. This guy, real quick while I'm thinking about him, $17.49. Not great, but not hard. You know, I think we're going to start looking at maybe lowering our threshold on just video games, because our minimum is $20. That's the least that we want to sell an item for. So we've been kicking off video games that are like 10 and 15, just kicking them all to the side and putting them in our pile. But I think we're going to like lower that a little bit. And that's probably because I've been watching Key. My other buddy, I'm Just Key, watch his channel too. He's got great enthusiasm, great charisma. I love watching his channel. And you will learn quite a few things from him, because you'll see stuff that sells. And in this case, he's selling stuff routinely, where we're just kind of kicking it off to the side. And we could be making that money. So what I was getting at the rummage sale, picked up all these guitars, and a lot of them didn't have the dongles. Well, you know, it gets discouraging when you don't have the dongle, and the dongle is 50 bucks by itself. But what makes sense is to buy the dongle and sell the guitar with the dongle, because the guitar might be worth a ton of money. So in this case, this guitar here, I believe, I can't remember which one it is. One of the two of them, not this one, but one of these two here, sells for $100 with the dongle. The dongle is $50. But the guitar by itself, if it's tested and we know that it works, sells for $50. The other guitar, the one that's Sunburst or Tobacco, that's a common name for that, that one sells for $150 with the dongle. So they both take the same dongle. What we did was we ordered a dongle. We're going to sell it with that Sunburst one, but before we sell it with the Sunburst one, we're going to test the other one, and that way we know it works, and we'll get $200 out of these two guitars that we thought we were going to throw away. Yes, we had to spend 50 bucks, but think about it. If you were at a yard sale, I say that I have $10 in the two of them, so we've got $10 into them. I got to spend 50 more. If you were at a yard sale, and I swear I think I have a freaking a woodpecker on my building. If you were at a yard sale and you could spend $60 to make $200, would you? Would you do it? I would. I 100% would. I sure do have a woodpecker somewhere on my building. I hear it. I don't know where it's at. There he is. He was in the corner of my building. He was right up there in my my trough. I don't know if you can see it, but I can't. I got to climb up there and see what he was damaging. That's strange. Yeah. That was him when we turned the corner. Him making all that freaking weird jungle music. He was going nuts. See the HHR behind us? We just bought that yesterday. Some details on that. $2,000 for it. It is supposed to run, drive, stop, start, everything, but it has a clutch position switch that's bad. That's what we were told. Got it home. It does not have a bad clutch position switch. It's got something else wrong with it. So I'm going to have to dig a little bit more into it. When I buy cars like that, I figure worst case scenario. Can I part it out? Can I take it apart and still at least make my money back? Because you got to think it's a gamble. If you're going to gamble on it, can you at least make your money back? There are 2 dings in that passenger door. Just thinking of things that because Angie was talking about keeping it. We have a couple cars of our own that are our collection, nothing spectacular, but we have a turbo cobalt sedan, which they only made 759 of. Our particular color, they only made 80 of. And we have it in our collection, and we don't drive it. We're in the middle of like upgrading a bunch of stuff on it. So whatever. She was talking about maybe selling that, keeping this one, because this is a semi, I won't say rare, but less common model because it's a 5-speed versus the automatic. The HHRs were more geared towards the elderly crowd, the older crowd, we'll say, the elderly crowd. Listen to me. The older crowd, and because of that, most of them are automatic. So the 5-speed is a little less rare, or a little less common, I should say. And she's talking about keeping that, maybe fixing it up. She used to do auto body, and with that, she can do the body work that it needs, and fixing it up, maybe painting it in destroyer gray with some purple accents. I think that would be pretty cool. So we'll see. We'll see what we do. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But, so that's what that is. The building, so on and so forth. I don't know. I got lost. My ADD's kicking in. It's awesome, isn't it? It's 100% awesome. I sold some Japanese manga. These here. I bought these. But yeah, that's what it was. This is another example. I spent $60 on those guitars. Would you do that? Would you do that at a yard sale? Would you spend $60 to make $200? Would you spend $10 knowing you're going to have to spend $50 more to make $200? What is your limits? What are your metrics on that? How does that look for you? You know, do you have to spend a little bit and then spend a lot to make a lot? Or how does it, like, you know, how does that work? Because Angie at first was like, no, we're not going to spend $50. She just was not having it. She's like, we'll just put these in the yard sale pile. I say yard sale. We were talking about doing a flea market, and we're ended up going to do a yard sale this weekend. So that's going to happen. But she did not want to do it. She wanted to put those in the yard sale pile and just kick them out of here. And it took me some explaining, and finally she got what I was saying, and she said, okay, well, let's get on board with that. So that's what that is. I also paid $50 for these, the stack of books, thinking they were really good. Guess what? They were $170. Took an offer, $170. Took them a little while to sell, but they're going out of here for $170. This was another great thing. I was driving down the street. This is a fashion model, tweed indeed, Barbie doll. I will tell you right now, anything fashion model, Barbie, look at it. Definitely look at it. I was driving down the street after I dropped my dog off because Big Odin, he did not go with us to Florida. Then as I was driving back home, I saw a gentleman running across the road after putting up a yard sale sign. And I said, great, I am going to be the first one there. I looked at the clock. It was 8:45 in the morning. So I'm going to be the first one here because, you know, you don't put up a sign at 8:45 if you're open at 8. You put it up at 8:45 if you open at 9. That's the way that works. So I ran right down the street to his house, and I pulled up, and I was digging through stuff, and there was a ton of toys. And it was old stuff that I don't know. It was like more infant, you know, like preschool toys, that kind of stuff, like the Fisher-Price and things like that. But they were older. I just don't know that. I pulled out 4 Barbie dolls that were, 3 of them were this fashion model. One of them was a different line. But I looked up the very first one, and it was this guy here. This Barbie here, this doll. And it looked like it retailed between $150 and $200. And I was like, yeah, I asked him, is this your price on them? They had $20 on each one. So would you cut me a deal if I bought 4? I say, sure. I ended up getting 4 plus 3 PlayStation 1 games for $70. And that was a pretty good score on a yard sale I didn't even plan to go to. So this particular one, I had them all, everything was listed for $650. That's what I got for $70. I turned it into $650 worth of listings, sold for $160. This is my first one to get out of here. I had it listed for $199.99, and I took an offer on it. I took an offer because, I don't know. I just, that day, there was nothing that sold. I did a Scott, my other friends, Scott and Christina, Trading Post Pickers. I'm name dropping like crazy today. Trading Post Pickers, they do that sometimes where if they hadn't had anything to sell, this is a snap-on circuit tester, like a spark tester. Flathead screwdriver, you just put this in there and just kind of jumps. It will, it lights up. There's a little light bulb inside of there. You can't really see it. $15. I got a bunch of these. I got a whole handful of them. So I took an offer of $15. I think we had it listed for like $18.99, $19.99, something like that. Here's the Kikis. This sold for $9.99. This was a free one too. But Scott and Christina, sometimes if they don't have anything that is sold that day, they'll just take an offer. And even though it's a little on the low side, they'll let it sell just because they're trying to, holy cow, I really sold that. They are trying to make some money that day. So sometimes it happens. And that's what I did. And as soon as I did, boom, floodgates opened. And we made some serious money that day. Old golf clubs typically are not all that great. I only look at old golf clubs if I'm looking for the putter. I'm looking for Scotty Cameron putters. And now, I will tell you, I am looking for Ping putters. Because I had listed 2 Ping putters, and one of them I listed for like 180 bucks. It is a Ping 1A. That is a bolo to one to look out for. I got it in a bag of clubs for $10, and I listed it for 180. This Ping Answer, A-N-S-E-R, sold for $29.99, and it sold quick. It sold not long after listing it, maybe a couple of days. And this is an older club, so kind of shocked, but that's cool. That's nice. My next one, I sold screws. I can't believe this really worked. Smalls 12. They are just a baggie of OG screws, the original screws. They're in a pouch because when I took them out, I didn't want to lose them. That's all they are, is screws right there. And they sold for $9.97. Not a ton of money. Not a ton of money. But they are the original screws that went to the body assembly of a 1984 Imperial shutter from Star Wars. If you remember a while back, I sold that thing as parts. I picked it up for $5 at a yard sale, and it was beat the hell up. But I took it all apart, and I sold the thing as parts. $5 turned into like 250 bucks. It was crazy. I didn't think that I was going to get any kind of money out of it, you know, because it was so bad a shape. But hey, it worked. It absolutely worked. I've got a Nikon one-touch zoom AF. It means autofocused. Get your mind out of the gutter. I am going to, I think it's P3. Might be P4. I hope it's P3, because that's where I'm looking. I don't see it. The Noid DS lot. So that's not it. Maybe it is P4. Maybe it's P2. Hell, I don't know. Let's just keep looking. Why can't we be friends? It's right there. It was P4. But, you know, we love looking for digital cameras. We were bummed today. We went to an estate sale, and we showed up early, and we were polite. We didn't get out of the car because we saw them in and out. Very obvious that they were stressed, and they were packing stuff out. This guy here sold for $24.99. They were loading trash out, and you could tell it was family, and so on and so forth, and we didn't want to get in their way. So we waited, and we should have went inside. Should have went up to the door because we got there like 45 minutes early. When we first pulled up, there was not, that is 3. It says R2, so it's got a here. There was not a car in the driveway. So we circled the block and came back, and when we pulled up the second time, there was a car in the driveway. And we're like, oh, more families here. And the door was open. So we just kind of let them do their thing. And someone else pulled up at like 8:50, and this thing opened at 9. This is a Funai. We've been having some good success lately. DVD VCR combos, pretty good success. So that's not the right one, because the one I'm looking for is a Magnavox, and that's a Funai. So I'm going to go back over here, and I think she got these mixed up because Magnavox is down here, and that says it should be on R2, but that is R3. So I'm going to take this one instead. But we've been having some good success on these. Getting them for $5. She has really, maybe I'll have her go and, you know, do a tutorial for you guys, because she's had some good success. You usually get these things home and the VCR doesn't work. And that's been our experience, is that the VCR does not work. She doesn't even bother testing them. She will tear them right apart, and she will clean the ever-living dog piss out of them. And right away, that's the first thing she does. And there's a couple different things that she cleans. She's watched a bunch of YouTube videos called The Matrix. But she cleans them like crazy, puts them back together, and then they work. And we don't have to worry about, you know, oh, I got it, it didn't work, blah, 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 because we know that it worked from the get-go. This guy, Magnavox DV22OMW. Yep, MW9. So DV220 MW9, no remote, working and tested, $89.99. Boom, bada bang, bada boom. Good one. $89.99. So that's a good one there. We waited at this damn estate sale thinking that we're going to be the polite ones. This guy pulls up. He jumps in front of us. He walks in. Not a big deal because we're both walking in at the same time. And turns out there was someone already there. There's somebody that had been there since we pulled up, and he was already picking. And that was a bummer because he got some good stuff. He got our cameras. What I'm about to show you is not a bolo. I don't know that it's written on. What's that say? That is right there. And he's so good to me sometimes. It is this guy here. I'm not going to pull it out and put it over there because there's not really space right now. But I'm going to tell you about it. But the point of telling you that the guy was there earlier is he had gotten the digital cameras out of the house. And we love to get digital cameras. We absolutely love to get them. So it was a bummer. This is a vintage Noma Glow Light Jesus Sacred Heart Altar Last Supper chalkware. It is something that you would have around here. We have a lot of of these Catholic neighborhoods with the Cape Cod houses that have the little cutouts to have little different Catholic statues, you know, like places to worship at. Like they have little cutouts on the wall for that kind of stuff. And you would have put this in one of those cutouts, like one of the little doodads like that. I've never seen one like this, so when I saw it, I picked it up. I got this at a private pick. I put out an ad that I buy estates and so on and so forth. And when I went there, I said, this isn't going to be a good thing for me to buy, but I'm willing to pick. And they said, okay, cool. So I dug through it. I gave $100 for a big box full of stuff. This was in there. There were, a while ago, I already sold them, but right at the beginning of football season last year, I had football pennants. I had like 30-something football pennants from the 60s and 70s, and I just sold them all because you could sell them individually and make $500-600, but you're going to sit on them forever. I just sold them all. Let somebody else do it, and I got $360 out of them. I got good money for that big pile because I only had $100 into the whole thing. So I got this too. We finally got it listed, and it sold quick at full asking price of $174.99. So that's a pretty good one. Another one of my Barbie dolls. I have sold the Sweet Retreat M3. Chris, if you're out there, I miss you, bud. I hope you're doing well. Haven't talked to him in a while. I can't even think of the last name he called his channel. The super fan, the reseller stalker. This is the fashion model series. This is Sweet Retreat, and this one sold for good money. It sold for $119.99, full price, $119.99. So that's out of a $70 investment, $280, $279.99. I sold a bat on an offer, going to Lori. Lori got it. This is a Louisville Slugger. This is when I was like still just grabbing every bat I saw. And, you know, I don't recommend not getting bats, but some of them can be much slower sellers than others. Generally speaking, you're going to want to look for bats that have this little line in them like this. You see how the one that I'm about to sell does not. This one doesn't either, but it generally is a hybrid bat. That means that the barrel is something different than the handle. So I would say sell those over this guy, but this still sold. $18 for this guy. Not too terrible to ship. I'm going to cut down a 4866 box. Same thing with this putter, 4866. It's going to go in there, and I want to cut one of those down. So keep that in mind because a 4866 box is like $2 or $3. So you're going to have to do that. K3 is where I'm headed. This is a gold limited edition C3PO controller. If you see these shiny Xbox 360 controllers like in boxes and bins, grab them. Pick them up. They're worth some money. There's different colors, but this is the C3PO one. We've had this one a couple times, and we didn't really know it was worth anything. Finally, we listed one, and it sold for quick. This thing sold in minutes after listing it. It sold once, and then the guy was like, hey, I screwed up. I had my old address in there. I need to cancel. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So I canceled, and we sent him a message, hey, we just relisted it. And before he could buy it, it sold again. So $34.99 for that guy. For just an Xbox 360 controller. Isn't that pretty good? I think it's pretty good. And my last item for the day is a Chevy Cobalt, going to G2. Chevy Cobalt, the shifter itself, the actual shift mechanism. Now, for whatever reason, well, not whatever reason, the reason being, people replace this when they got the car because they put a short shifter in, and you have to take this whole kit and caboodle apart. And usually when you get the short shifter, you get a different handle, a different knob, a shift knob. So a lot of these get kicked to the side and they're left in pretty good shape. This one is not in great shape, but it still exists. And if you can put it back together, it will make yours look a lot better. 75 bucks for that guy. And that was the first offer I'd had on it. So I said, get it gone. Let's do it. And that brings me to my total of 19 items for $1,420.40. How have your sales been? Tell me about the different things that I've talked about now that I've forgotten all of them because my mind is going a mile a minute and I've got a million things to get done today. I have to get that the HHR off the truck because I have to get that trailer back to U-Haul. And I think I have someone coming to cut some grass for me maybe. So tell me about all the different things I've talked about. Love to hear about it. Guys, I am so sorry. We are just been burnt out on making videos. It was tough. We had that big video, the big short blew up, and it got us a ton of subs. It was fantastic. It was a good run. It was a good feeling to have all those subs come in. And then when that wore off, a lot of those subs scrubbed off because they realized what the channel was about and they said, hey, we don't want to be here. And then my sub count was falling, and it's hard when you're doing work, you're putting in the effort, but things are going in reverse and you're not seeing the fruits of your labor. So it came, led to a case of burnout. And it got warm and whatnot. So I'm going to focus more on trying to get stuff done around here, getting more videos online and getting more stuff listed and getting more stuff sold, that kind of thing. And but until then, I'll release this one as soon as I can. Hopefully we'll get it out before this weekend so you can come to the yard sale if you do want to. And I will see you on the next one.